Thank you very much, Chairman Kong Rufus Rodriguez, and to my colleagues. I'd like to apologize for being late because I cannot fly in yesterday because of my chairmanship of a technical working group. I should have been here yesterday so that I could have started as early as 9 o'clock. But I am very happy, Mr. Chair, that we can see a cross-section of people today. I think I'm positive that we will be able to achieve our purpose of being able to consult with them on the necessity of amending our Constitution. Napakarami po kasi ng doubts about amending the Constitution. Sabi po nung iba, gaya po nung narinig namin in the earlier proceedings that we had in the House of Representatives, especially coming from those who are still living today, as framers of the Constitution. Sabi nila, it is not timely to amend our Constitution. Regrettably, however, they do not tell us when is the proper time to amend the Constitution. Everybody, all of us, know that our Constitution is 36 years old. Siguro po naman ay hindi naman masama na pag-isipan nating repasuhin kung merong dapat na baguhin. This is the purpose of our journey today, to consult with you and get the sentiments of the public. Kasi po ang ating saligang batas ay hindi naman nakasulat sa bato. I believe when the Constitution was ratified in 1987, it did not foresee some of the developments that we are now witnessing today. Hindi nila na-foresee yung globalization. Marami po kasi digitalization, yung internet, hindi nila nakita yon. So there is merit in the argument that we need to see the positive side of amending the Constitution. Bakit po napakarami pa nating mahirap, kagaya po nung nagsalita kanina? Why is it that the People's Republic of China was able to liberate 700 million of their citizens who were poor? 700 million were liberated in 30 years. Eh tayo po, ang mahirap naman sa atin, sa statistics natin, mga siguro 20-25%. At the rate China did, 2 years time, dapat graduate na tayo eh. Pero hanggang ngayon po, nandyan pa yung mahirap. So there is really a good and positive side. Let us revisit our Constitution. Baka naman po meron tayong magagawa talaga like the present initiative to open up and lift some of the restrictive provisions of our Constitution. Totoo naman po eh. Napag-iwanan na po tayo ng napakaraming bansa sa ating mga kapit bansa natin. Vietnam, Malaysia, Thailand, Brunei, Singapore. Masyado na po tayong malayo. Kaya po ako, kagaya ng nasabi ko kanina, nagpapasalamat ako at nandito ako, nakasama ko po yung aming team with our chair, Kong Rufus Rodriguez. We need to be here and to consult with the people and to hear you and to get your sentiments. Paano po natin ipoprocess ang problema na may kinalaman po sa ating Constitution. Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chair.
Thank you,
Mr. Chair. So I may not be of the same position with Representative Stella, but this is a public consultation, and I know we owe you other perspective of why we do not want the Constitution reform or the change of the Constitution. So first of all, there are studies that prove that by the way, hindi naman natin sinasabi na ayaw natin ng correct foreign direct investment. But sinasabi po dito sa studies that the main reason kung bakit mahina yung ating foreign direct investment is one, poor infrastructure and the business environment, and that should be addressed. And then there are also disadvantages of foreign direct investment, or sinasabi din po pala na hindi naman po yung 100% ownership of the land yung gusto ng mga foreign direct investors. Okay? Number one disadvantage is to hinder domestic investment and transfer control of domestic to foreign. Number two, risk of political change exposing countries to foreign political influence. Number three, influence exchange rate. And number four, influence interest rates. And number five, overtake domestic industry if they cannot compete. Kasi alam naman natin, dapat paunlarin natin yung ating mga domestic industries, yung ating mga small, medium enterprises and businesses na dapat ay nanggagaling yung suporta sa ating government so that we can generate a permanent yung mga jobs. So, although we can generate jobs in the FDI, pero yung ating mga investment natin with our business sectors, yun dapat yung ating suportahan at paunlarin. And lastly, Mr. Chair, ilang dekada na rin yung mga policy sa atin, yung mga foreign companies, pero lugmok pa rin ang ating ekonomiya sa bansa. Sa katunayan, hindi naman gusto o hinihiling ng mga foreigners yung 100% ownership sa lupa o yung empresa. Ang sinasabi nila, dapat ay, number one, mabawasan o wala dapat corruption. Number two, good governance. Kung maayos ang kahit nasa eleksyon, kung maayos ba naman ang pamamahala ng isang naiboto or nasa gobyerno, di ba lagi siyang iboboto, di ba? And then lastly, Mr. Chair, yung presyo ng ating mga utilities, kuryente, tubig, etc. So, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Congresswoman Franz Castro. You see, answer your questions.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. To the question, Mr. Chair, I'd like to cite our state policy. Nakalagay po sa saligang batas natin. The state shall develop a self-reliant and independent national economy effectively controlled by Filipinos. Kahit na po buksan natin ng konti yung ating economic provisions, i-lift natin ang restrictions, hindi naman po nangangahulugan na kailangang matalo tayo ng mga papasok na mga dayuhan. We will need to protect the interest also of our businessmen, of our people. That's the whole story there. Kailangan lang nating i-open para makahabol tayo. Tama po yung sinabi nyo kanina. Talaga pong napag-iwanan na tayo for so many years ng ating mga karatig bansa because nauna sila na mag-open up ng kanilang mga restrictions sa kanilang ekonomiya. Kasi matagal po na natakot yung mga ibang kababayan natin. If you will recall, panahon pa po ni Pangulong FBR, Pangulong Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, and even to the extent na maski pa ang panahon ni Pangulong Duterte, we attempted and tried to introduce amendments to the Constitution pero medyo takot po noon ang mga tao. Pero ngayon po nakikita namin publicly, we can feel the sentiments of people. Mukhang payag naman sila. Basta't meron lamang pong karampatang safeguards. Meron dapat bantay din naman. Hindi naman yung pag binuksan natin, talong-talo naman tayo. Hindi naman po ganun. Hindi naman po kami papayag na bubuksan natin so wide open to the detriment of our people. Hindi naman po kami papayag sa ganun. Buksan natin sapat lamang para makahabol tayo yung pangangailangan natin in this contemporary times. Kung manalig po kayo na mananatili po yung state policy, ang sabi po ng ating saligang batas, which is written in our Constitution, the state shall develop a self-reliant and independent national economy effectively controlled by Filipinos. Mananatili po yun. Salamat po, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Congressman Marcoleta. The next,
Are represented, but I think the question is about ensuring the representation of each and every sector so that their sentiments can be heard also. I guess, Mr. Chair, it would probably be based on Congress, because the members of the Constitutional Commission will be voted upon by the people. And therefore, in the election, I would not venture on whether they will win, because they got to be elected. In the party list system, we know how to win because we need only about 2% to have a seat in Congress. But this is another area. We need to elect the members of the Constitutional Convention. I would not know, Mr. Chair, how they would fare in the election. It would probably be dependent on the kind of rules that Congress might do before the elections. Kasi po ganito hindi natin kilala sino-sino po ba yung sectors that need to be represented para makasiguro po tayo na ang sentimiento ng bawat sectors will be reflected in the final writing of the amendments or revision of the Constitution. So kasi po election naman ito, meron pa ngang nagsabi nung nakaraan na kami po'y nagpupulong sa House of Representatives. Sabi nung isa, paano ninyo magagaranti na yung mga may elect na members ng Constitutional Convention ay talagang sila ang karapat-dapat na maging kinatawan? Yung political dynasty kanya dito sa ating bansa ay nangingibabaw. So sa kanya pong pananaw, because we need first to address political dynasty in this country, sa kanyang palagay po niya, manggagaling din ang mga members ng Constitutional Convention mula dun sa mga dynastic, alam niyo na po, Mr. Chair.
Congresswoman Stella Timbo would like to ask the question of secular representation in the Constitutional Convention.
Yes, it's a very valid concern. Based on the Constitution, you can only elect district representatives. That's right, Jerry. That's correct, right? So now the issue is, how are we able to get enough sectoral representatives? And my simple answer is law of large numbers. Right now, we have about 250 plus districts. And just looking at the districts alone, you will already have a sufficient number of women. You also have a sufficient number of youth. If we're looking at the current Congress, there are over 13 district representatives that are below 30 years old. In the same breath, we also have good enough number of senior citizens among the district representatives. So that's my simple answer. While your CONCON members will be elected by districts among themselves, because of the sheer number, you will be able to get sufficient sectoral representation.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, we recognize Congressman Corvera of Agusan del Norte.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In the bill of Congressman Sano, House Bill number 6927, he included in his bill the participation of the party list system. His bill is suggesting that the election of the CONCON delegates will be done on the first Monday of 2024. And he is suggesting that the party list parties will submit nominees to COMELEC, and one of them will become member of the Constitutional Convention. And I think this bill should be studied also by the committee. As far as the party list representation is concerned, here is the bill that includes the party list participation. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Congressman Dale. So,
Mr. Chair, Francis
Yeah.
here.
Congresswoman Franz Castro is recognized.
Thank you for that question. That is a very, very valid question. Kasi nga, per district yung pilian. Pero here is the party list. So do you have suggestions on how the sectoral representative be elected or to be represented here? So meron po ba kayong suggestion yung ating mga kabataan? Aside from the party list here.
At this point, siguro, Honorable Castro, I think it's also valid how one of our honorables a while ago has also mentioned that even though we've already included the party list system as one of like the possible amendments, it's also something that also needs to be viewed overhauled and also reorganized, since it's one of the concerns that also, it's one of the concerns basically that we need to look into for the amendment of the Constitution. As of this moment, I think I'm more focused lang of how we can also invite minority sectors to the conversation. The processes I'm not yet super familiar with on how we can do that in the proposed amendments. But siguro, as mentioned a while ago by Congresswoman, no, na even in electing the representatives from the different districts, it already covers, women, senior citizens, even our youth. However, I believe we also need to reconcile some minority sectors that don't necessarily fit in that demographic. So maybe that's just a concern as a student that I'd want to raise, that how do we also include these minority sectors that aren't covered by that demographic in the conversation of a constitutional change? That would be all, Chairman. Thank you.
Very good. From our youth. Yeah, we have to listen to the youth because theirs will be this land in the decades to come.